Hello everyone, welcome to the BISP Solution. Today's topic that we'll be covering in financial consolidation and close software is we'll see the balance the balance sheet calculation, which is a new feature added by the FCCS Oracle, added by the Oracle in FCCS. So what does it mean? So when you create a new application, the system includes an entry for the balance calculation on the consolidation process page. The system can perform this calculation to ensure that the balance sheet is balanced. That means your total asset is equals to your total liabilities and equity, which is an accounting equation, right? So your assets should be equal to your liabilities and equity. And if it is not balanced, then this topic comes into the picture that there's a balance the balance sheet calculation. That means if your balance sheet is out of balance, a balancing amount is calculated and posted to a seeded account called balance with the movement dimension member, that is other current liabilities. So your account used will be balance and the movement will be other current liabilities. This is a predefined miscellaneous liability account, which is used solely for the purpose of keeping the balance sheet balanced. You have the option to disable this calculation if you do not want the system to automatically balance the balance sheet for you. So what is the intersection that we just discussed? It is account that it is a system generated account that we'll use as FCCS balance to we'll use it for balancing amount, and the movement that we'll use it is FCCS movement other current liabilities, and the result that we'll be seeing in data source FCCS no data source. So this is the intersection. The FCCS balance account should populate correctly as long as all the accounts they fall within the total assets, total liabilities and total equity parent accounts. That means it should be within the hierarchy of total balance sheet traditional approach. And the operator, that is the aggregation operator, that is addition or subtraction, it must match correctly with the parent-child account types. In dense or sparse optimized application under the FCCS total data source hierarchy, any new data source member should have a consolidation operator of addition when balancing the balance sheet calculation is enabled. So the system will write the FCCS balance entry to the new data source under data source dimension member. So to see the balanced result, you will need to view the total data source and total movement members. Now we'll see the steps. How this is done. So if you go to application and consolidation, under your consolidation process, you can see this balance the balance sheet process is there, consolidation process, which says ensure that the balance sheet is balanced and the total assets is equal to the total liabilities and equity. If the balance sheet is out of balance, a balancing entry is posted to the balance account under the other current liabilities. So you can see here, this is the predefined thing, that is the name of this rule is balance the balance sheet. Type it, you can see the system calculated here. Consolidation member that is applicable to this particular process is entity input. Disabled scenarios, these are the disabled scenarios, that is level 0 descendant scenario. So all the scenario used here are disabled one. I have prepared the smart view. Alright, so you can see I have randomly entered the number. These are all my intersection, and if you scroll to the left, this is my one entity, that is East 101. This is my second entity, that is East 102. And I have entered the numbers for just to check. Okay, that's gone, so we'll check again. Actually, I've entered the numbers, and without enabling of that rule, there was nothing coming under this balance account. You can see I have already set this balance account with the movement changes in other current liabilities, and I'm seeing at the top level members of that particular entity, and I'm getting nothing, that is hash missing. So now I'll try to input the numbers for cash. Okay, so these are all my numbers. When I'll hit submit, you can see my intersection. The product uses no product. View I have used as periodic. This is my entity, that is East 101. Multi-gap as local gap. Intercompany as no intercompany. Consolidation I have used as entity input. Data source I have used as data input. Currency is entity currency. And this is my scenario. This is my year, that is FY15. Period is Jan. These are all my accounts for which I am trying to enter the number, the data, and these are all the relevant movement for the respective account. So when I have entered the numbers, I hit submit. You can see under balance, although you can see your balance sheet is not balanced, your total of assets is 529500 and your total of liability and equity is 571536. The differential amount, that means your assets are less than your liabilities and equity, you can see over here, and it is less by 42,036 rupees. So this is a balancing amount, or the difference amount which is coming. That's why your balance sheet is not balanced. Now you can see, but it is not getting rolled over to balance. Those are the scope or the purpose of this rule is you want to show your balance sheet as balanced and put this differential amount under this balance account which is created by the system, and so that you can pass the journal to adjust this amount. And you must be knowing, you must have a question that why this total balance sheet traditional approach, why we can't keep it here and pass the journal, as the member property of this is dynamic, storage property is dynamic cal. So you cannot do a journal using a top member. You have to pick a base member. So this is the base member where your difference will be there, and you can easily adjust this amount to balance your balance sheet. And on the top of it, you can see when you adjust this amount to the balance, you'll get a negative zero. That is, it will show you assets and liabilities are equal. So that is the purpose of today's session. Now under East 102, we'll also enter the figures. So you understood, this is my C column is one entity, T column stands for another entity, and this is my parent of these two entities. This is the parent, that is total E100. And this is also not balanced by, you can see your assets are more than your liabilities. That's why I show 2279. So which is also your balance sheet is imbalanced here for this particular entity also. Now we want to adjust this figure. So how to do that? You come over to this under balance sheet. I'll add a scenario for which I want to exclude this case, that is your actual. Okay, after this I'll go to my, all right, I'll go back to consolidation and ownership structure. We'll check for this ownership structure because I want to run the rule, business rule. So I'll pick that entity for which I'm trying to enter the data, that is this E100. So I'm assuming this E101 is my holding company and E102 is my subsidiary. I'll recompute the ownership data. Now I'll go and run the rule. E100 is my parent entity. Now I'll choose the period as Jan because I've entered the data there only for Jan FY15 and the scenario is actual. So you can see once I refresh the sheet, for top member I have got the result, that is sum of these two, that is my holding and subsidiary, because 100% relationship I have defined, that is holding and invested or acquired the shares by 100%, or you can say holding and a stake of 100% in the subsidiary, a wholly owned subsidiary. So it will add all your assets and liabilities. Well, you can see now the balance amount is coming over here, and your total balance, under total balance sheet traditional approach you get 0 and your assets and liabilities are equal, although they were not. But now their differential amount, that is the difference of these two, whatever is the difference, it brings over here, that is 12257, and it makes your assets and liability equal. Okay, so this is the purpose of balance rule. But we have seen here, and right now we are seeing at the top member, that is a parent company. Now if you want to see individual, at individual level, either you the two things are there. First, if I am seeing at 101 and East 102, what you can do, you can bring everything that is at the top level, that is intercompany, bring it to intercompany top, entity input to entity total, data input to total data source, entity currency, keep it same, or you can bring it to parent currency. It's totally up to you. And you can see now you can get the differential amount under your balance. And here also you can see your differential amount 2279 comes under your balance. So this is the thing that you can you can check. Now you can see why this difference is coming over here under common stock. You can see the balance or the difference is coming because here you can see when I'm seeing at the top level, cash I have entered as 1 lakh and it is coming as 1,10,000 because somebody has entered the data under cash under some different source. That's why I'm getting the 10,000. That's why when we see at the top level, it will add up all those figures that I have entered for the same account at the same intersection. So irrespective, and you can see for the second one, it is coming same. So the thing is, the differential amount should directly get reflected over here, which is happening for East 102, not with East 101, because you can see the differential amount is there for cash, and that difference is only being affected here. Now, even the common stock is showing a differential amount, that is we have entered 4 lakh and it is showing you 402500. So the net effect of 7500 is taking place here. If you check 42036 minus 7500, you will get 34536, which is nothing but it is coming under your balance. All right. Okay, now if you want to see it over here only, you can at the top, you don't want to bring all the top members, you can directly see the result here under total data source. Instead of data input, we discussed at this start of the session that if you want to check the this intersection should be your account should be FCCS balance, your movement should be changes in other current liabilities, and data source should be no data source. Yes, you can see the numbers have been adjusted over here. If you delete this number and hit submit, and bring it to data input, see you had here 42036 and now it should move over to your balance. That's what we were trying to say. Now what you can do, just run a console again. You can see now the balance which was there, it is 42036. The difference that was coming of 7500, it is removed because some data was entered at some other intersection. Now you can see the completely this amount moves over to the balance account, that is 42036 for East 101. Similarly for East 102, we have 22279 and it moves to FCCS balance account. So this was only the imbalance amount which was there under total balance sheet traditional approach, that we have said your balance sheet was not tallied. Now it becomes 0 and your differential amount is standing over here under FCCS balance. Now what I was saying, instead of bringing to top members, you can select here, instead of data source, you can select here no data source. and see it here itself. See that differential amount is coming over here. It is removing from here and coming to the FCCS balance account, and similarly for East 102 also. Your balance sheet was out of balance with 22279, and it is getting adjusted here, that is bringing it to the FCCS balance account. So this is the concept of your balance sheet calculation process, consolidation process. So this is the whole step that you need to perform to flow the data to the balance. And if you want to remove, you do not want the system to move the balance to FCCS balance sheet, you can disable the rule how we enabled it. Similarly, you can go and disable it. Then your balance will show a hash missing that we have seen it earlier, right, before enabling the rule. Yeah, so that's all for today. If you have any questions, please contact BISP Solution. Thank you all for your time and patience. Thank you.